we go.
Okay.
Right. So my name is Teresa Daly and I work for Athena Analytics. And today we have James Campbell, who is from Sacred Hearts School in Drogheda, and he's been using the Athena Tracker for almost a year and a half. So here he is, James, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm James Campbell. I'm the academic monitor in Sacred Hearts Secondary School in Drogheda. So we've been using the Athena Tracker for the last, I suppose, year and a half. We knew about it for about, I suppose, 2 years or so. But yeah, we've been using it since then.
How did you hear about it, actually, just as a matter of interest?
Our principal attended a talk, I'd say around Easter time. Athena gave a presentation, and then we used it for helping us come up with grades for our junior cert students. The first lockdown, whether the first year that the junior cert was cancelled. So that's how we kind of heard about it. And I attended loads of in-services and stuff like that and did a bit of research. So that's how it started off. My principal she was the driving force behind it initially. And then I took it on board then after that.
Okay, great. So can you tell me why you actually made the decision to go ahead with the Athena Tracker then after attending all those webinars or in-service days? Or
Yeah, so I got appointed academic monitor, I'd say around December 2020. So we rolled it out by, I think it was March 2021, that kind of thing. And prior to rolling it out, or prior to signing on board with Athena Tracker, we used to, as each subject department, would take their students' results, Leaving Cert, Junior Cert, or Christmas results, and then they would come up with their own Excel spreadsheets and then compare it to the national average. And then you would try and highlight students who you thought were not reaching their potential, and then you'd have your CAT scores. You try and interpret those, but you wouldn't necessarily know what the CAT scores are all about. And Athena, from what I could see anyway, was the only system or only program that did it for us. So in terms of managing our time, it was absolutely fantastic. Because as you know, as teachers, time is it's very precious in the school year, and that's one reason why we went with Athena.
Yeah, and so you mentioned a little bit there about the Excel spreadsheet. So that's what you predominantly used before.
Yeah, Excel spreadsheets. Yeah, so you'd have the list of the students, you'd have their CAT scores beside it, and you'd color code the CAT scores yourself, and then you'd have the national averages for each subject that would have been released from the department, and then you'd put in their grades, and I suppose you try and figure it out. You talk to the maths department as well and stuff like that. But you spend
very time consuming.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So the best thing about Athena is you upload the grades, even as a class teacher, and it color codes it for you that day. Green being above expectations, yellow in line, and red below. So so it's a very, very easy program to use. We find.
Great. So in the beginning, when you first started using it, what were the big objectives or goals that you hoped to achieve with it?
Yeah, so the big thing that we wanted was to identify students very, very quickly, straightforward. Because what was happening was you'd identify them after the event, like after junior cert, after Leaving Cert. And we hope to identify students that were kind of being missed in the middle. So students that maybe had high abilities on their CAT scores and who were kind of coasting. Not popping up, not being in trouble, not failing exams, but not necessarily, as Athena has showed us, they're not reaching their own individual potential. And I suppose that's what Athena does, identifies the kids' own individual abilities.
So you'd say it was, as you said, it was kind of finding the students that were in the middle.
Yeah, that's what we have found. Yeah, because we would have identified students who are failing exams and stuff like that they would pop up for us, but it's just identifying the student who, as I said, has high CAT scores or high ability levels, but may not necessarily pop up on our radar in the busy school life that we have.
Yeah, and just out of interest, what used you do then with the students that you did find that were in the middle? Like, did you set a new plan for them outside of the Athena Tracker? Like, was the Athena Tracker kind of identified
you just
that
broke
they were
up
there?
Teresa, sorry, what did you say?
Sorry, no, I'm just wondering what you would do with the students then that you found were kind of floating in the middle.
So we've just actually had a meeting today with I just had a meeting with the principal and we were talking about it, what we do, and we have a year head system in our school. So the Athena Tracker enables you to create an exam summary, and you're able to identify, for example, we've used for first years, and they've didn't reach their potential in 60% of their subjects. So there's about 6 or 7 of them. So we link in with the year head, we link in with the guidance department and the SEN department to see if there's any issues there. And then we hope to now perhaps link in with parents and get them on board with the process. So again, with the third years and the second years, we identify students as well. There's probably about 7 to 8 in every year that we would have missed before, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's been very helpful for us.
Good. Do you show your own students their results or their expectations?
We haven't, as a school, we haven't done that yet, but I have in my subjects with the senior ones, particularly at the start of 5th year. And I've showed them where they're at. I've also asked them what kind of grade they expect in the subject. So that's where I have, just as an individual teacher, I've done it. I have shown parents at parent-teacher meetings, and that's been very, very positive. So Athena Tracker enables you to, it has all the grades there for you, color-coded, but also produces a graph. So you have what they're getting, what their expected grade is, and also their target grade. So it displays it visually for them. So again, I, as an individual teacher, have been sending that to parents for my individual subjects. And again, very, very positive. And you can include their CAT scores in that, and that's color coded as well if you wish. So at the moment, what we're talking about doing is giving access to parents. So we, like, you know, the way they can access VSware, parents can access VSware, so that they'd have a login code for Athena. So that's what we hope to do in the future, kind of thing. And with the younger ones, I'm not so sure whether I'd roll it out to them at the moment.
Okay. You mentioned there that you use. Sorry, there's a bit of an echo.
Yeah.
But you were mentioning there that you used it for parent-teacher meetings. How would you say like parent-teacher meetings now compare to the way you used to parent-teacher meetings without the Athena Tracker?
Yeah, so it, like we've done them online. I don't know if other schools are doing that. That's what we mostly do now. And 5 minutes, and that's their slot. And you spend most of your time talking about what's in front of you. So it's a very good aid during the parent-teacher meetings to talk through the results and where they're at and stuff like that.
Speeds things up, I imagine.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, as I said, parents can understand it. It's color coded. It's very, very easy.
Yeah. What advice would you give to schools who are thinking about rolling out the Athena Tracker?
Yeah, so we would have done it in a step-by-step process, like a kind of a slow enough process. I think you need to bring teachers on board from the start. So we would have had, obviously I would have been introduced to it, and then I would have talked to senior management, like in the school, so AP1 holders, AP2 holders, this is what it is, kind of thing, and had informal discussions as well, not just throw it in on top of them on a staff meeting. And then having got their feedback and listen to their perhaps fears about introducing it to students or introducing to parents, then I'd introduce it at a staff meeting. Again, Athena is very helpful in that. They'll do training as well. And also I would have presented to the board of management as well. So letting them know what is a parents' council, that kind of stuff. And then we said we just introduce it to staff first, that the staff would just have access to it and get them used to it. And they do use it. Like I did a survey there. I do surveys regularly, and if they're using it and how they're using it. And like, for example, 88% said they use it on a regular basis and they find it very, very beneficial. And that they have no problem with parents having access to the system. So yeah, I'd say advice rolling it out is a step by step. And another thing that we did was, I'm not sure if other schools have done this, is the GDPR thing. So our school is connected with ARC Consulting, so they specialize in GDPR for schools. So what I would have done was I sought consent from every parent in the school, which proved to be very, very time consuming. But I did it over about six weeks it took in total. So 700 students. So saw consent from them. And I think out of 700, we only had about 5 or 6 that didn't give consent for their data to be transferred over to Athena. So what I've done is also I've introduced a system where the incoming first years, it's part of their admissions policy. So it speeds up the process. we also introduced this link between VSware and Athena. As you know, it's called Wand. When VSware updates every week, Athena will update as well via Wand, and it's very, very important. Well, very, very helpful for the academic monitor in the school, which is me. You'd have people changing classes on a regular basis. Could be the maths departments, Irish, English, that kind of stuff, dropping levels, moving up, that kind of stuff, or changing classes. And every week teachers would have been coming to me saying, "Oh, Mary's not in my class," kind of thing. So that would have been every day nearly at some parts of the year. So Wand does it for you, makes the link for you, and then that saves a lot of time. So if schools were going to do that, I'd recommend that they do the GDPR, they roll it out to staff first, see how that works, and they introduce that thing called Wand, that link between VSware, if they use VSware, that is, and Athena. So that's what I.
Great. You were mentioning to me before this meeting as well that like it might be beneficial to have an assigned post, such as yourself, like to have an academic tracking person.
Yeah, absolutely. So I spend quite a bit of time. It's my AP2 post. So yeah, I would make sure it's important that the data going into it is correct, and that's very important. That's when you draw it down from VSware and you upload it, it's accurate. And there may be some issues that teachers may have that students may not be appearing there. You kind of have to assign a certain importance to it, and particularly if you give access to parents, people they'll be asking you questions. It needs to be a point of reference in the school. I think for it to work properly and for teachers to use it, and for teachers, if they're having problems, if they're a bit apprehensive about using the system, they need someone to go to. And I'm sure people know in schools, it's principal and deputy principal that they're very hard to get access to. So I think you do need a point of contact.
Great. Yeah. How have you found the customer service or the support dealing with Athena?
Yeah, like most people, it was brand new to me when I started off, a bit apprehensive, what to do, that kind of stuff. So on Athena's website, they have videos, but they also assign you, what would you call it, like a manager?
An account manager.
Account manager. So that person is very, very helpful. So on a regular basis, now I'd email and questions or queries that teachers might have, or how do I do this kind of thing, and within the day I get a response and a step-by-step process. It's very, very, very helpful. So the support, yeah, I have no issues, no
Go on, give her a shout out. She'll only be dying for it.
Yeah, her name is Patricia. She's excellent.
Brilliant. She'll be happy with that.
Yeah, she is. She's genuinely very, very good.
Oh, brilliant. I was going to say, she showed you how to rename students, I think, yourself and things like that.
Yeah. So moving students around, getting rid of students that are not supposed to be on the system, if you know what I mean. Because VSware they're on VSware, so they automatically kind of just getting rid of them, and then uploading CAT scores, uploading exams. Yeah, very, very. Yeah, she helped with all those things. Yeah.
Brilliant. So like she kind of gave you the tools to do it yourself rather than be contacting all the time.
You don't want to be. You just want to be able to get on. I mean, like you go to it, it wouldn't be every day you'd be using Athena as an academic monitor. It might be every week, or it might be coming up to or the end of an exam after you've inputted the data. You might be spending every day on it, and you might be unfamiliar. You might have forgotten what you used to do, and then Patricia would give you step by step, very, very straightforward. And there are videos as well to help you. So yeah, it's excellent.
Brilliant. Just wondering, with the consent that you got from the parents, what did that actually look like? Was it just a document, like a letter that went home?
We use Microsoft Office, so we created a Microsoft form, and in the form it outlines what it is, what it's for. Athena Tracker creates a link to Athena Tracker, and in the form, and it also has a link to your GDPR rights, and then it has the questions that they fill in. So like, what class are they in? What's their name? What's the parent's name? And do you or do you not give consent? So it's very straightforward for them.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend it from a GDPR point of view that schools do that.
Okay. Cool. Is there anything else you want to add or you thought was important?
Yeah, I know Athena are always trying to improve their product, so I've been in contact with Patricia a few times over the year, and they send out newsletters, updates of what's actually happening, so they do listen to teachers, about what they want. So, for example, one of the things would be, at the moment, Athena just puts all first years together or all second years together. And we would like, as a school, to have the first year separated into their classes, kind of thing. It just makes it easier for teachers just to identify their students. And when they're uploading their own individual tests, which is very good, no one else sees it. It's just the teacher. And that's color coded for you. So if it's in the class, it just makes it easier for the teacher to do it. Yeah.
Cool. I'm just going to go through a couple of questions that I just see popping up there in the chat. I don't know if you can see them. I'm not sure will I be able to answer these now, but Jenny Costello, she's just asked, hi Jenny, that could we get a copy of the GDPR form? But I assume, James, that was through ARC, is it? Your external
ARC.
company that did it for you?
Yeah, ARC Consulting. So yeah. We have it on our website, I'd say, our GDPR, but I can send you a link to what the form that I send out to kids and then or to students, and then you can send it.
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
To people who want it.
And also, Kieran Corcoran has asked, could we get a copy of the teacher survey, please?
The questions, is that what you mean, Kieran? Yeah. Just what? Cool. Thanks. Again, I'll send it to you, Therese.
Yeah, that's fine, and we'll find a way.
Yeah.
Cool. Does anybody have any more questions for James? I think that's it now. Unless there's anything else you want to add, James.
So I've had people contact me directly. So it's J Campbell at sacredhearts.ie. I'll just put it in the chat so you have it there.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's right there. Yeah, J Campbell, Sacred Hearts. So if you have any questions directly, I can answer them if you need any help. I know it can be quite daunting to roll out something as big as this, but I found it very helpful. Students or teachers find it helpful, and it saves time. So that's the main thing, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So Jenny Costello has another question there. Did you set out a school plan over a number of years?
Well, I'm not sure. Did we meet? We met as a senior management, what we wanted to do, and then the middle management met. If that's what you mean, Jenny.
Jenny, if you want to pop on your microphone, you can ask it over audio if you meant something different. Hi, Jenny.
So basically, we've been rolling it out slowly to see if teachers would take it on board, and they have. So the next step is to roll it out to parents and see if we have any issues, or maybe are we asking for trouble? We don't know yet. So it could be a 1 year only thing, but I've rolled it out in parent teacher meetings and it's been very good. They haven't. It also helps if you're saying to a parent your child is not able for a certain, say, higher level maths or higher level French. Actually, the French teacher come to me today and they said to me it's great because they can show them what their CAT scores are, what they've been achieving in their tests that they have, and this is where they're at kind of thing. Because we're quite an academic school, and all of the kids want to do higher level maths, higher level English kind of thing. So it's very, very helpful in backing up what you're saying as a teacher. Yeah.
Has there been anything that surprised you after using the Athena Tracker with students?
Which students, in terms of rolling it out to them?
Yeah.
No, there hasn't been. I said I have been quite. It's just the fifth years I've rolled it out to.
Okay. Yeah.
There hasn't been any issues with that. We haven't rolled it out to first years and second years.
Okay. Yeah. So next year.
Yeah. Well, we'll see with parents first, and then it's a step-by-step process. We're new to this as well. I know they do it in England and stuff like that, and I think they do it in Australia as well. So I suppose that's where this stuff's coming from.
Yeah, very
So
good.
in
There
terms
is.
of the survey, teachers use it for parent-teacher meetings. Use it when their year heads use it when they're meeting parents. Guidance counselors use it when they're talking to the sixth years about their choices, with their points, because Athena gives you like what you're gonna potentially kind of get.
Mhm.
Um,
Brilliant. Jenny just put up in the chat that there seems to be a problem with her audio, but if you email on
okay.
the question, I can forward it on to James anyway. We can get it answered afterwards. Right. So if there is nothing else, we can wrap this up before our children come bursting in both stores and ruining
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, they're being very quiet. They're being great.
Oh, they are. Right. So, well, thanks very much for joining us.